Hello, beautiful people of the internet. How are you doing today? My name is Jackie and welcome back to my YouTube channel. So my family is planning to have a yard sale this autumn, and I decided that I wanted to get rid of some books that I don't read anymore, that I know I'm never going to read again, and sell them at this yard sale. This is going to be a little mini unhaul video where I tell you guys what books that I am going to part with. I have picked 5 books that I think I can just easily get rid of, that I haven't read in years. Some of them I haven't even thought about them in years. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today in this mini unhaul. So when I was younger, my absolute favorite genre was contemporary romance, and I don't read contemporary romance anymore. My favorite author when I was in middle school was absolutely Sarah Dessen. I have almost every single one of her books. I haven't read some of the newer ones because, like I said, I don't like contemporary romance anymore. And while I could probably unhaul all of my Sarah Dessen books since I haven't read them in years, I don't know if I'm emotionally ready to part with all of them yet. However, there are 2 that I did not like and which I don't feel bad about getting rid of, and those are That Summer and Keeping the Moon. So first out of these 2 is That Summer. That Summer is, I believe, Sarah Dessen's first novel. It was published in 1996, which is 3 years before I was even born. That Summer follows a girl named Haven. Now Haven's life is changing. Her father is getting remarried, and her sister is also engaged to a man that Haven does not think is right for her, and matters are complicated when her sister's ex-boyfriend Sumner reappears in Haven's life. This is Sarah Dessen's debut novel, and I think it does show I did not like this novel as much as I liked some of her later work, and it just is not very memorable in my mind like some of the other books are. The second Sarah Dessen book I am unhauling is Keeping the Moon. Keeping the Moon follows a 15-year-old girl named Collie who has always never fit in her entire life. She ends up spending the summer in a beach town in North Carolina working at a bar and grill called Last Chance, where she befriends 2 waitresses who also happen to be best friends, Morgan and Isabel. This book is different from a lot of Sarah Dessen's other works because there is not really a romance in this book. It is more so a novel about this friendship, and while I can appreciate that because all books do not need romance in them, I didn't really like this book because to get a book from a romance author that had no romance just did not meet my expectations. The next book that I am getting rid of is The Boyfriend App by Katie Cease. This book follows a teenage genius named Audrey who enters a contest to create an app, and she designs an app called the Boyfriend App, which is meant to help girls land the guy they want. Honestly, I'm having a really hard time describing this book because I only read it once so many years ago, and I just remember not liking it. I thought it was kind of silly. I'm gonna spoil part of the book here because this is really the only major plot point I can remember, so if you don't want to hear this spoiler for some reason, I'll put a timestamp when I finish talking about it down below. Basically, in this book, the main character Audrey finds out that the phone company, or like this big app producer, they put something in their phones, a chemical, that basically triggers the part of your brain that is able to fall in love to get you addicted to their phones. And it just seemed so silly to have this plot point about this phone company making you fall in love every time you use the phone, and it seemed very ridiculous to me, and I still remember that all these years later when I remember literally nothing else about the book, so just was not a fan, would not read it again. The next book that I am unhauling is Avalon High by Meg Cabot. I bought this book when I was younger because they adapted it into a Disney movie. This book is about a girl named Ellie. While her father is on sabbatical, she starts attending a new school called Avalon High, and it becomes clear to her that some of her classmates are the reincarnations of characters from Arthurian legend. While I think it's really cool that they incorporate Arthurian legend in here in this book that I read when I was younger, and it gave me some exposure to that, I don't really remember loving this book that much. I know I definitely liked the book better than the Disney movie because the Disney movie completely changed the ending of the book and which character corresponds to which figure from Arthurian legend, which bothers me that they just completely changed the ending for no apparent reason. So I did like this better than the movie, but it was something that I enjoyed while I was younger that is just not what I'm into now, and I know I'm never going to read it again. I don't have any particular emotional attachment to it, so I'm going to pass it along to someone who hopefully will enjoy it, and it'll just be a better fit for someone else. Okay, this last book that I'm going to unhaul, I need to open it because I lost the dust jacket, so I don't know the author's first name. It is Little Women and Me by Lauren Bratz-Logstead. This book follows a girl named Emily. For school, she has to write an essay on something that she would change from a classic novel, and she decides that she wants to change plot elements from Little Women by Louisa May Alcott, and she ends up sucked into the story as the fifth March sister. And she tries to change the book to end how she wants it to, and there are whole different misadventures along the way, and you see how the story of Little Women would change if there was a fifth sister. My dad bought this book for me because when I was younger, I had a great illustrated classics version of Little Women, which was my absolute favorite book back then. The problem is I don't like the changes that this author makes to the Little Women story. In order to delve into that, I have to give spoilers for both this book and for Little Women, so if you don't want to hear them, I'm going to put a timestamp of when I finish talking about the spoilers. In this book, the main character, Emily, she's upset that in Little Women, Jo does not marry her best friend and neighbor, Laurie. In the original Little Women, Jo marries an older German professor named Professor Bear, and Emily changes the story so that Jo and Laurie end up together instead. We find out that Amy March, who is the youngest sister in Little Women, is actually also a time traveler, and that she altered the story so that she would get Laurie instead of Jo, and Emily changes it back. However, I actually like Jo and Professor Bear. I never, even when I was younger, wanted Jo and Laurie to end up together, just because I don't think Laurie really supports Jo in her writing and in her dreams as much as Professor Bear does. Yes, Laurie is younger and he's more handsome, but I just think Professor Bear is a better fit for Jo. Jo never really cared about being a high society girl like Amy does, and I think if she was married to Laurie, he wouldn't be as supportive of her in her writing as Professor Bear is, and I think, like Jo says, she doesn't see him that way, and the two of them would argue constantly. So I don't understand why everyone wants Jo and Laurie to be together when she clearly doesn't have romantic feelings for him, and I just think Professor Bear is a better fit for her lifestyle. So I don't like that they changed the ending, because I don't like Jo and Laurie together. I guess I'm the only one who feels that way, because I looked up and everybody seems to be of the opinion that they should end up together, and I disagree. I like the original ending. Okay, that was originally supposed to be the last book in this unhaul, but then I found another one that I want to get rid of, and that is Rosewood Confidential, the unofficial companion to Pretty Little Liars by Liv Spencer. This is a book that gives episode summaries, trivia, and behind-the-scenes facts about the first 2 seasons of Pretty Little Liars. However, this book is seriously outdated because, like I said, it only covers the first 2 seasons, and there were, I don't even know how many because I quit watching it at some point, like 6 7, maybe? And it's just very outdated, and to be completely honest, there are almost 300 pages in this book, and every single thing in here I could have found on the internet for free. So I think it was just really, it's not necessary for me to have it. I haven't looked at it in years. Even when I bought it, I was kind of unimpressed with it and didn't really read it that much, so I'm gonna give it away. I don't need it anymore. So guys, these are the books that I am unhauling today. Let me know what you thought of this video. Are there any books that I am unhauling which you read and actually liked? Or did you read any of these books and you agree with me that you didn't like them either? Thank you for watching this video. Please like if you enjoyed and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more from me. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye! See you next time.